Stop everything you are doing right now, close your other tabs, and put down your phone. What if the next war is not decided by bombs or missiles, but by silence? No radar alarms, no warning sirens, no missiles launching back, just nothing. Because the systems meant to defend an entire nation suddenly go blind. While the world watches headlines and argues about politics, something unusual is happening in public. Massive billboards have appeared across major Iranian cities showing a U.S. aircraft carrier exploding at sea with a direct warning. If you create a storm, you will harvest a hurricane. This is not normal diplomacy. It is the visual destruction of the belief in untouchable power. The invisible trigger right now, two things are happening at once. American drones are circling the Persian Gulf, and Iranian drones are circling below them. Between them sits the most protected military asset on Earth, an active U.S. aircraft carrier. But this is the last stage before orders are given. This is the invisible battlefield of electronic and cyber warfare. Recent reports confirm Iranian drone swarms pose a credible threat to high-value U.S. naval assets like the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier group, now positioned closer to the region, with experts warning of saturation attacks from low-cost unmanned systems. The U.S. has even deployed reverse-engineered replicas of Iran's Shahed-136 kamikaze drones to the Middle East, underscoring how drone warfare is reshaping resource demands. By the end of this briefing, you will understand why these drones are the invisible trigger for a $117 plus silver squeeze. We will expose the COMEX shortfall, why deliverable inventories have drained sharply with millions of ounces withdrawn in early January alone. The 48-hour recall, why Iran ordered every senior commander back to duty, a level of alert reserved for imminent war. The 10,000 kilometers ICBM threat, why geography no longer protects the U.S. East Coast, with Iran's recent test launch toward Siberia, with reported Russian approval, the Balin blueprint. Why your bank savings are legally unsecured loans, sitting on the same table as a failing $250 billion silver short. As of January 29, 2026, silver trades around $117, minus 119 per ounce, hitting highs of $119.34 today, up over 54%, monthly and 271% year-over-year, driven by safe haven flows, supply tightness, and escalating tensions. The drones you are seeing are not just weapons, they are economic decisions. When a multi-million-dollar missile is used to stop a drone that costs only a few thousand, the exchange doesn't matter tactically, it matters strategically. You cannot win a war where every defensive move slowly bankrupts you. Oh, the silver necessity modern warfare is no longer decided by who has more soldiers. It is decided by who controls information, signals, and timing. Silver is the essential canary in the coal mine for this technology. It is woven into every drone guidance system, every radar array, and every electronic warfare platform. Irrecoverable loss. Unlike gold, silver used in these military applications is consumed and lost. It is not stored in vaults to be brought back later. Mission-critical thresholds. Defense assessments confirm that physical silver availability has reached critical levels, with stockpiles strained by ongoing demand from guidance systems, radar, and now swarming drones. The paper casino versus physical reality. For decades, the silver market operated as two markets pretending to be one. One is actual metal. The other is a paper casino of futures and ETFs. Right now, that system is sitting under a level of pressure that never releases gently. The paper market has extreme claims for every ounce of real metal. This ratio, around 23 paper claims for every 1 ounce of real silver, is a structure built on the assumption that nobody will ever ask for delivery. But the drones are the signal that the quiet window of preparation is slamming shut. COMEX inventories continue to face pressure, with registered stocks dropping sharply and delivery volumes elevated, as metal leaves vaults rapidly amid strong physical demand. On December 31st at 11:47 p.m., the default clock officially went off. China's new export licensing took full effect January 1st, 2026, authorizing only 44 companies to export silver and prioritizing domestic needs in semiconductors, EVs, solar, and strategic reserves. This has severely restricted global refined silver flows, contributing to the violent rally we're seeing today. When senior officials From JP Morgan and the Chicago Fed flew to Shanghai to improvise a rescue deal, China effectively hung up. They rejected the bailout, stating, "You run a casino of promises, we hold the actual metal." This created a severe shortfall in deliverable silver. Section 4C, legalized confiscation. The COMEX has tools to manage pressure, including force majeure clauses or cash settlements at set prices. You could be handed a check at an artificial price while the physical metal trades at $117 in reality and gets redirected to military, industrial, and sovereign stockpiles. This isn't risk management. It is the system adapting in plain sight to avoid outright default. Imagine the 48th floor of the JP Morgan Tower. A single call comes in. We need $4 billion. Now, as silver prices detonated into a face-ripping rally to $119 highs today, the bank's short book was torched. But a bank that advertises trillions in assets can still choke on $4 billion Australian dollars, call because assets and cash are not the same thing. Their balance sheet is stuffed with illiquid real estate and long-dated bonds that nobody wants. The unsecured creditor trap. If a bullion titan misses a margin call, trust the lubricant of the system vanishes instantly. Under the post-2008 resolution playbook, banks are no longer bailed out. They are bailed in, the reality of your deposit. Legally, your bank balance is an unsecured loan you made to the bank. Frozen accounts. If the silver derivative market fails, you could log into your retirement portal and see a warning. Account access temporarily restricted. You were nowhere near the casino, but your life savings were sitting on the same table. The drone signal has escalated. Recent claims confirm Iran tested an ICBM with a range of 10,000 km launched toward Siberia, with reported Russian approval, capable of theoretically reaching the U.S. East Coast. This means much of the Western world is now within reach. Once this capability is real, deterrence logic changes permanently. Shipping lanes become uninsurable, and the physical silver needed for defense becomes a matter of national survival, not market price. Silver is in a phase right now that looks too unimpressive for what it represents. Like a massive ruby that looks fake because it's too perfect, people assume silver is irrelevant because it hasn't proven itself yet. But history shows that precious metals don't gradually adjust. They gap and reprice violently when trust disappears overnight. You must have a plan before the peak arrives. Watch for retail mania lines at every dealer and 2030 premiums. Media capitulation. CNBC and Bloomberg calling silver a risk-free investment. Speculative extremes, large hedge funds holding record futures contracts. Government intervention, release of strategic reserves or forced cash settlements. Technical breakdown, a sudden sharp drop after a parabolic move. The goal is not to own the most silver. The goal is to survive the transition with dignity. Your first milestone is the survival stack of 50 to 100 ounces. This is the baseline that moves you from spectator to participant. History teaches that systems change, but human behavior repeats. The quiet window to plan calmly is getting smaller. When the noise fades and the first irreversible decision is made, preparation will be the only thing that speaks. Stay vigilant, stay disciplined.